And welcome to the Aaron Katsman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katsman. We're here to speak to you about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon-to-be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, Aaron, at lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me out on the web at www.aaronkatsman.com. That's www.aaronkatsman.com, aaronkatsman.com. Be sure to follow me on both LinkedIn and Twitter, and also be sure to subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. So we're in the ocean, as you see behind me. Okay, this is Jerusalem, where there's plenty of water for all of you who know that. There's sailboats galore here in Jerusalem. But the reason that I want to speak about sailboats is I want to speak about retirement and retirement myths. That's right. Falsities that people go with all the time, and they think that that's going to land them a secure, or what we like to call a sailboat-like, sunset sailboat ride like retirement. So the first myth that I would like to speak about is that Social Security is your solution, or if you're also in Israel, bituach leumi is your solution. In 2020, I believe, Social Security Administration came out and said the average benefit that people get from Social Security is $1,500 and something, $1,503 or something like that a month. Okay, multiply that by 12, that comes out to $18,000 a year. Now, as you probably know, that's probably not enough to live on, is it? No, 18 won't pay the food bill over the course of the year, at least in my family, won't pay the food bill. Okay, so what does that mean? That means, number one, and if you're living in Israel and you're fortunate enough to also be like an expat and get Social Security, you can add to that, let's say, another, if you're single, let's say you're going to add to that another $7,000, $6,000, so you're up to a whopping $25,000 a year. Now, if you're joint, then already you're talking. Then there's possibility that you'll have enough money, but probably not, right? So number one, don't rely on Social Security or whatever country you're in. Their little safety net retirement system is not going to be nearly enough money for you to retire. Okay, so keep that in mind, and don't just say, oh, I'm going to live on Social Security. I don't have to save, I don't have to do anything. Myth number two, I'm just going to work through retirement. Nothing can stop me. Well, let me tell you something. Wrong, okay? Dave Ramsey actually writes, whether it's those crushing healthcare costs, higher than expected living expenses, or simply because they can't afford to retire, 74% of workers say they plan to work during the retirement years. And yet only 27% of retirees say they were actually able to do so. Hello? That's a problem, right? Means 3/4 of the people who are entering retirement think that their retirement plan includes continuing to work during retirement. But in fact, only 1/4 of them succeed to actually work, which means there's a good chance that if that's your plan, you're up the creek. Okay? So what's that mean? Again, you've got to take care of your retirement before you retire, right? It's a great idea if you can work part-time, at least the beginning of retirement. Not only does that bring some extra income, which will help you down the road for sure, because they say every year you delay taking money out of your retirement actually adds 3 to 4 years on the back end, towards the end of your life, in savings. So that's fantastic, right? You add 3 or 4 years to savings by not using the money. That's great, right? One of the ways to do that is to continue to work. The other advantage of working during retirement is it gives you something to do, right? You won't be bouncing off the walls, and you won't pretend that your whole retirement plan is that sailboat over my left shoulder. Okay, that's not going to be your retirement plan. It's great to do, but that's not your retirement plan. So myth number two, don't think your whole retirement plan is based on working through retirement. Now, myth number three, I'm too old. It's too late for me to start saving for retirement. So I'm just going to rely on the other two that I just mentioned. Those other two myths, right? I'll get Social Security, I'll get Israeli bituach leumi, or I'll just keep working. Okay? Why? Because you still have time, right? Let's say you turn 40, okay? And you bring home $4,000 a month. Let's say your salary is a little bit around $50,000 a year. If you invest 15% of your income until you retire, you know how much money you're going to end up with? You're going to end up with north of $1 million. Okay, according to some estimates that are not overly aggressive, you'll have about $1.2 million. But let's just say you have $1 million. That's pretty good, right? Add that to the Social Security, and all of a sudden now you're talking. Now you'll have plenty of money to live through your retirement and make it, and have a long, healthy, long life. Okay, but let's just say that you didn't start at 40. Okay, so you have a few more gray hairs before you start saving, and you get up to 50. Guess what? Even at 50, all is not lost. You're going to have to take more of a hit. You're going to have to plow more money into savings, right? If you plow a quarter of your income into savings, which, look, if you're up against a wall and you have no choice, you've got to do what you've got to do, right? So let's say you contribute 25% of your savings towards retirement. And you start at 50, right? You haven't saved a penny until 50. You're still going to end up with close to $600,000. Now that $600,000 will be able to generate for you, $25,000 and protect your principal at the very least. I'm not talking about growth, right? Statistically, right? Add that to your Social Security, and again, now you've got a comfortable amount of money to live off of. So, in review, 3 myths about retirement that we have certainly debunked. Okay, number 1, that you're just going to rely on Social Security. Bad idea, because it's not going to be enough. Number 2, that you're going to work through retirement. Bad idea, because most people plan on it and it doesn't actually happen. Myth number 3, it's too late to save, because the fact of the matter is you can be 50 years old with nary a penny to your name and start saving, and you can make it. You can save up to $600,000 by the time you retire, which will certainly help you get past the finish line and have a secure financial retirement. You have been tuning in to the Aaron Katsman Show. I am your host, Aaron Katsman. We speak to you about your money, your life, and your investments. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, AARON, at lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me on the web at www.aaronkatsman.com. That's www.aaronkatsman.com. Be sure to follow me on both Twitter and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel where you get all of the content in one platform. It's been a pleasure being with you, and we'll speak to you soon.